So I've been doing this for a very long time. Oh, I don't know, ever since I could remember over 25 years ago I first began my career. And I have never seen such a significant impact from one niche. Just one niche changed my life. And that's the best way that I can put this into perspective for you guys. Because you guys really have had such a huge impact on my very existence. So many wonderful people have seen so many special things coming from out of these videos, and I can never seem to put into words how appreciative I am of this incredible niche. You guys are incredibly supportive of who and what you love. So because you guys are incredibly supportive forever and always of who and what you love, I've always believed, I've had this initiative, that you guys have always deserved the best videos that you could possibly see about Descendants and Zombies. So what I wanted to do, I went on a mission. I went on a journey. That's the best way I've described this. It feels like a journey, a truly unforgettable journey that I've been on, to try to bring every fan of Descendants and Zombies that much closer to who and what they believe in. I never wanted you guys to become separated because of Descendants and Zombies having to say goodbye and to kind of unexplainably vanish. So what I did the best to try to do was try to keep these franchises alive for you. And over these last 2 years, I believe I've succeeded in my dream of keeping these franchises alive, but it could have never happened without your love and support. You guys have shown so much kindness for me as a YouTuber, which I never had years ago, because I was talking about various different niches for people who wanted me to talk about what they wanted me to talk about. I could never tell you my story. And I could never be who I always wanted to be, which was pretty much myself. Because with me, what you saw is what you got all the time. And now more than ever, what you see is what you get with Jonathan Clarke. I'm a very honest guy. I'm very to the point. And I love to have a lot of fun. And I love to showcase my passions for such things as Descendants of Zombies, because I really did love Kylie Contrell so much. When I tell you guys that I love Kylie Contrell, I really do love Kylie Contrell. I really think that Ruby Rose Turner is the most beautiful person I've ever laid eyes on, and I think that they have really bright futures in store and ahead of them. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to let the world know how I truly felt about your favorite characters, so you guys could watch a relatable guy who felt the same way as you did about your favorite characters. And lo and behold, that's what happened for me. That's what you guys made happen for this crazy guy who spent $1,000 on a Bluey just yesterday, who believes that everything that he sees on TV is real, from pro wrestling to the Power Rangers to Buffy the Vampire Slayer to even the X-Files, and in a lot of cases Descendants of Zombies, because Descendants of Zombies were beautiful characters that told beautiful stories. That's what Descendants of Zombies was represented by, beautiful characters that told beautiful stories. Now I know over the years we've heard 100 different adaptations of Cinderella, but did you ever imagine 25 years ago when Cinderella had its first ever movie in 1997, first ever live action with Brandy playing Cinderella, that 25 and a half years later, someone as beautiful as Malia Baker would have had the chance to don the character Chloe Charming, which would become the daughter of Prince Charming and Cinderella. I don't think we ever imagined that Cinderella would be played by somebody just as beautiful as what Malia Baker was. And then, of course, Red, who was the lead character in The Rise of Red, who did receive her fair share of criticism, played by Kylie Contrell, and I had issues with that. Everybody knows that, the criticism that was directed towards Kylie Contrell, because anything that people could talk about negatively about Kylie Contrell, they did. They never wanted to give her much of a chance. They weren't very accepting of how Kylie Contrell was coming in to take over the lead role from Dove Cameron, because everybody loves Dove Cameron. And I get that. Everybody loves Dove Cameron. But as much of a chance that we gave Dove Cameron 15 years ago, don't you think that we can give that same chance or even more of a chance to people like Kylie Contrell? Because Kylie Contrell is a beautiful person. She is so emotionally connected to all of you, especially this new niche that is picking up new fans all the time. So for the new niche and the new fans who are being introduced to Descendants of Zombies or reintroducing themselves to this new franchise, I think we can give them something to believe in. Because I saw power and I saw strength in someone such as Kylie Contrell. I saw power and I saw strength in someone such as Ruby Rose Turner. And a lot of people don't say that about Ruby, but Ruby exemplifies a lot of power and a lot of strength for her heart and her dedication to all of you and her defining roles, because that's really what Bridget was. She may have just been the young Queen of Hearts to a lot of reviewers and a lot of critics that you watch on YouTube, but she exemplified a lot of power, a lot of strength, and for sure a lot of heart. I think that everybody who was a somebody in this world, in this very existence, in this universe or this galaxy, because it's something much bigger, always took something special away from their favorite characters. and how much these characters would go on to mean to all of you. So when it came to creating and distributing this channel, if I was going to be anything, it was going to be with me, what you saw is what you got, and I was going to be a relatable guy. And so many people have believed in this YouTube channel with all of their heart. People love this YouTube channel so much. And the reality this YouTube channel is faced with, the only YouTube channel that's ever ahead of us, is the Disney YouTube channel themselves, or Disney's co-partners. There's nobody who's ahead of us because of how I can tell these stories and how these stories some way or somehow touch your hearts. And knowing that there's nobody ahead of us in terms of YouTube content creators has become the greatest honor of my life. And it all has to do with how much I've believed in Kylie Contrell and Ruby and Malia and Dove and Sophia, just as much as all of you have with your hearts. You really have put your hearts into these characters, and you don't deserve to hear critical reviews. You've always deserved to hear nothing but the best and something nice about your favorite stars that would always some way or somehow touch your heart. Now, I may have never known how I was going to succeed in touching the hearts of every fan of Descendants of Zombies, because the hearts of fans of Descendants of Zombies, if you haven't figured it out, are very difficult to earn the respect of and to win the hearts of. But once you do, they will never quit on you. They will never go away, because every single time that you feel like you've lost all hope for your channel, they will hit your subscribe button so much just to know how much you love them, or how much you appreciate them, and how much they love you, and how much they respect you in return. There's nothing quite like winning the hearts of every fan of Descendants of Zombies, which I have successfully done for reasons that I don't even know about. But the thing is, guys, you guys will always and forever have a very special place within these franchises, because what I've tried to do is make you feel connected to who and what you love. To make you feel as if this franchise, hey, may have a chance of lasting for forever. Because I know Disney's had this consistent habit over the years and over time where they could never get past 4 seasons of a successful show like Wizards or Hannah Montana or Sweet Life, and they could never get past a trilogy. But Descendants of Zombies became the first to do that. And what do you guys think that was? It was because you were made believers out of alien invasions and zombie apocalypses and the chances of mermaids even seeing their introduction into the Zombies franchise. Because if you go back 3 years ago, when somebody asked Megan Milo what was next for zombies, Milo Manheim responded with, I don't know, beats me, probably mermaids perhaps. And lo and behold, that's what we're setting ourselves up to be a part of. And take it from a guy who's always wanted to meet a mermaid. I always wanted to be out on a fishing expedition or a boating expedition and meet a mermaid. I honestly did, because I obviously believe that I always believed that mermaids were beautiful and very unpredictable characters, probably far more beautiful characters than ever unpredictable. But I think that there are a lot of people who think the mermaids in this movie are going to be misunderstood. The people think that these mermaids are going to be evil. They're going to be the adversaries for every supernatural force to kind of have to come together and band together to kind of override Seabrook's greatest threat. Why are we assuming that mermaids are going to offer something evil to this plot? I think that mermaids are going to be very innocent. They have a chance of being very innocent and oftentimes very unpredictable. The thing about mermaids are people have very different opinions about them. But the one thing you can never deny is they are incredibly beautiful and by far some of the most talented supernatural characters that we've ever heard talked about or discussed in conversations. And I don't care who you are out there, but every little girl out there watching this video today wants to be a mermaid. So I think that with every little girl watching these videos who wants to be a mermaid, I think we can encourage that, something like a mermaid could be real. I think that when you believe in fantasy, as opposed to just talking about it, that's what brings these videos to life. And if you can encourage people that, okay, mermaids do have a chance of happening, and you never shut the door on the chances of it happening, that's what allows you to bring these videos to life. There are far too many people who do these reaction videos about Descendants of Zombies for you guys, who just watch Descendants of Zombies for the first time when they record the reaction video. They'll use OBS Studio. I don't know how many of you are familiar with that, but there's a program you use to capture yourself while doing reaction videos. It's called OBS. So you use a double shot camera. So you put yourself up in the corner and then you screenshot your video footage that you're showing and doing reactions to. I've known about this for forever. I'm kind of a tech geek. So what they'll do is they'll, tell you that they love Descendants of Zombies, but really what they're doing is they're watching it for the first time ever. And I think that where the greater appreciation comes from is commentarial perspectives that offer you and shed some light on the directions that you think the franchises are headed in. I could come on here and record up to 50 reaction videos every day. But that never tells you anything about me. That doesn't make you feel closer to what I believe in for Descendants of Zombies. That pretty much just takes away every general aspect that you've always trusted in and believed in about your favorite characters. Because when it comes to your favorite characters, all that needs to be said is that Zed and Aniston's love story was a beautiful love story, and Victor's and Nova's is going to be something far more beautiful than perhaps ever given credit for. It's going to be something we're never going to forget, and we're always going to remember. And I think people find time in appreciating how you feel about Descendants of Zombies as opposed to recording a million reaction videos, which so many people think is the coolest thing ever to do. You know, record your thoughts on a reaction video, run it for 7 to 12 minutes, and that's it. Throw it up on your YouTube channel, get 1,000 likes and 1,000 subscribers, which many people have successfully done. But the thing is, when you can speak from your heart and perceive it with an open heart and an open mind, you yourself never know what you're going to say. And that's what makes your videos so fun. Like, I never imagined that my YouTube channel would go on to have seen over 4,000 subscribers and over 130,000 channel views, but it happened never because I decided one morning when I woke up in my Mickey Mouse slippers that I was going to upload videos about Descendants of Zombies at random for the rest of my life. But the thing is, it happened because that's what you guys wanted. You always wanted somebody, either a guy or a girl, to sit here and talk about Descendants of Zombies and believe in it with all of his heart. Because there were many things that I believed in with all of my heart years ago, and I never quit on them. Because I know what it's like for so many people to just kind of pick up Descendants of Zombies, talk about it, and throw it down after 2 or 3 videos. That's never been good enough. What you guys have always wanted is videos on your favorite characters and people to tell you how those characters make them feel, and make them obviously feel connected to what they've loved and what they've appreciated over time. And I've certainly loved and appreciated Descendants of Zombies over time. It happened instantly, just as fast as I could have snapped my fingers. I saw Descendants for the first time back on July 31st, 2015, and I always took something special away from it. You know something? What made Descendants of Zombies so magical was that every single time you watched it, even if it was the 1,458th time, and you're saying to yourself, hey, Jonathan Clarke, 1,458 times, that's pretty precise. Well, I'm just using the first random number that kind of pops in my head. So let's say 1,458 times. If you have, in fact, watched Descendants of Zombies 1,458 times, you could never deny that watching it 1,458 times, every single time that you watched it, it felt like you were watching it for the very first time. You know, years ago, I thought Toy Story was one of the coolest Disney movies ever created. It was the first ever computer animated movie in 1995 in November of that year, and I will never forget it. The images were mind-blowing, the graphical presentation was absolutely spectacular, and I thought Toy Story was a story that could actually have a chance of coming to life. And then Toyland and Disney World premieres, and I thought about how cool would it be to shrink down to the size of a toy. And you're saying to yourself, hey, Jonathan Clarke, when you walk in Toyland, they don't actually shrink you down to the size of a toy. I know, but just go with the flow for a moment. Think about how cool it would have been to actually walk in Toyland and get shrunk down to the size of a toy. Wouldn't you feel a part of Toy Story? Wouldn't you feel becoming immersed and it was the coolest thing ever? Like the Worlds Collide Tour, when you attended it for the first time ever, you felt like you were attending Oradon Prep, or you were walking through the forests of Oradon. That's what made the Worlds Collide Tour, the first half of it, so special, was that they could bring it to life, and bring it to life in such a powerful way, which was something I never, ever forgot. There are so many things that people who attempted to review the Worlds Collide Tour that they never shed light on, like how immerseful the entire experience was, and how much it meant to so many wonderful people. Just the feeling that you got when you got your hands on those first 2 or 3 tickets that your family picked up and you guys went together, that's a moment in its own right. And that's a moment that should be appreciated by us who come on here on YouTube and spend over $5,000 on YouTube channels and YouTube tech to bring this YouTube channel to life. And you're saying to yourself, hey, Jonathan Clarke, man, that's a lot of money to spend. Your credit card must be a nightmare. Don't remind me. I did it because I love you guys just as much as you love Descendants of Zombies, and I've had no regrets. I put in all that time and effort in this YouTube channel, and I haven't looked back since. Because if there was one niche that I could have created content for, it would have had to have been this one. Now, unquestionably, I may have had issues with how people took exception to Kylie Control's political point of view, and then I had this dream of running for president of the United States, and I thought how I was ever going to do that, and then a light bulb went off in my head and said, Okay, if I have 15,000 Descendants of Zombies fans just as fast as you can snap your fingers, there's nothing I can't do. Even if it comes to winning president of the United States and that I can fix all these issues of previous presidents and finally give Kylie Cantrell a president that she could be proud of. Hi caramba, we could all sit around a campfire and sing Kumbaya. That would be a dream come true, because the thing is, Kylie Cantrell needs to, focus on what matters, which has obviously been all of you, and what she wants to get the most out of life for having done. I don't see issues with that. I see giving people a chance something you can take great pride in. And that's the one thing I've always believed in, is giving people like Kylie Cantrell a chance. And if you do, we're all going to be a part of something special. Because I know there are thousands of Kylie Cantrell fans who watch this YouTube channel every day. Perhaps Kylie herself watches this YouTube channel. I really don't know. But the only hope I've ever seemed to have is that I can either give you or these stars something nice to watch, so that they'll watch YouTube videos again, because a lot of them refrain from watching YouTube because nobody ever seems to say something nice, and that's all they've ever wanted to be either a part of or oftentimes to hear. Because when you can offer them encouragement to keep on moving forward, to keep on feeling inspired, and offering us times where we too take away inspiration from the product, that's what matters. When you can apply common ethics to your videos, which probably a lot of you don't know what the meaning of is, but common ethics is when you can apply an understanding to Descendants of Zombies in a way that it affects somebody's heart and it triggers emotions, so that you experience every emotion in the book. So together with 15,000 other Descendants of Zombies fans, you cry, you laugh, you experience the appreciation that you've always had for Descendants of Zombies coming to the forefront, and you think to yourself that all this time that I invested in being a Descendants of Zombies fan was really worth it. And that's what's made this so special, is that you remember all these moments and all these times that you became fans of Descendants of Zombies, and it was really worth experiencing. Something that you wish you could have the time back, to go back in time if you were in possession of a time capsule and kind of relive. Because this has been the greatest experience of my life, and one that I know that I will never ever forget because of how special you guys made it. From the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for having made this your favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel, and for always and forever having watched these videos, because it's given me great joy and such a huge honor for me to create so much relatable content that I never imagined would have went on to resonate with so many incredible hearts. From wherever you're watching this video today, keep on believing in Descendants of Zombies with all of your heart, because that's what makes Descendants of Zombies so special. And as always, thank you so much for having watched these videos.